Luke, where to start? Congratulations. What a roller coaster of a game that was. How do you sum that one up?
I don't know, to be honest, it's quite tough. I think the smile on my face can tell you that. A lot of people say I don't smile. I do smile. It was a crazy game. Usually, 2-0 down, I can lose them games quite easily, and there has been a couple of instances this year, against Johnny Clayton in the match play semi-final and the World Series semi-final. Them close games, I just end up not being the winner. I always play these really good games, and I end up being the loser. But this time I'm happy that I was the winner for once. These classics that are, not the most amazing standard, but they're really tight. And usually I come off the loser, so I'm really proud of myself that I come off the winner for once.
Just touching on what you said there, being it was against the calibre of player against Peter and what it means to you, could that be a career-defining moment, do you feel, even this early in your career?
I mean, it could be a career-defining moment if I go on and win it. If I'm here Sunday night and I've won this title, then I'll sit here now and say that quarter-final was my career-defining moment. If I don't go on and win it, then of course it's not a career-defining moment, but it definitely will sit in the back of my mind now to believe that if I'm behind in games, in big games, because this is a big tournament, that you can still come back, and I have that level that I know I can beat anybody. And I thought, as much as Peter hadn't been his best this year, I thought he played fantastic there. Regardless of how I played, I thought that was a great performance from him, and he's just showed that he's still ready to perform and still play well for the rest of the year on his part. He's still a fantastic player. And that was a really tough game to win. I thought plus I wasn't at my brilliant best, I thought I played really well there.
You had to survive match darts and then re-find your composure for that double four. How big was that passage of play?
Yeah, like I said, if I'm sat here Sunday and with the title, then I'll tell you that's one of the greatest darts I've ever thrown. But I couldn't even remember that you'd mismatched darts. It's all the blur sometimes when you're up there, you're just in the moment and you don't realise what's going on. But until Polly said in the interview, I didn't realise that he mismatched darts. So that was a massive moment. But of course now I'm thinking about I do remember I felt like my bottle sort of went away a little bit. I felt like when you 2-0 down, you're pretty much out of the game. And then when I had the chance to level it and make parity, your emotions heighten and you thought, oh my god, this is my chance to go back in it. And then last dart is do or die in it. It's either in or you either go for it or you're out. And I showed a lot of bottle in the last dart in the end, which I'm really thankful for.
You're in that semi-final. How nice is it that you won't meet Michael van Gerwen in a semi-final?
To be honest, I don't really think that. I would love to. I really love playing Michael. I think he brings out the best in me, and I bring the best out in him. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm so happy Michael's not in it. I might sound mad for saying that, but I'm not lying. I love playing Michael, and I think we've had some great games. So sometimes it's nice winning tournaments when you beat the best players in the world. Of course, he's not world number one, but in my mind, he's still the best player in the world. So to have beaten him alongside winning the title, if I do, it would have been massive. But of course, there's a lot of great players up there. Chris showed a lot of bottle yesterday. So tomorrow, I know I've got a really tough game with Rich Joe or Chris. It's a really tough game, but I think they both know they're going to have a tough game as well.
Luke, many congratulations.
Thank you, Phil.
Luke, coming off stage at 2-0 down, what was going through your mind at that point?
Usually it would have been negative, but I think it's time for me to start thinking positive. I think everyone's seen that game. I didn't let my head drop. I wasn't negative. I think this is a new thing I have to adapt. I think I show too much negativity, shake my head too much, and it's got to stop. Because it doesn't look great. It doesn't look good for me. As much as in my head I'm not thinking these negative things, but I think like it's just a habit now. I feel like I have to do it, and it's strange, but I feel like I've got a lot more inside my mind and a lot more mental strength than I let my body language show. So I think it's time for me now to stop shaking my head and start focusing on actually performing at my best.
Do you think mentally you are as strong as the top players? I mean, what does a performance like that show about your character deep down?
Yeah, I think in the last 12 months I've probably got that sort of mentality. But when you're not at the top, then you don't believe it. Now I'm at the top, I do believe it. You don't win them games if you haven't got a top mentality and a top mental, one of the top mental strengths. You can learn a lot. I think I'm good friends with Michael van Gerwen. He spoke to me a lot before in my younger years. He's got the greatest mindset of all time. he believes he'll win regardless whether he was, in the final 4-0 sets down, he believed he'll win. So you have to have that mindset to believe, because if you don't believe, of course you won't win. I think allowing yourself to get to the top, and I think you just start believing naturally.
How do you bring yourself back down after a result like that and prepare to back it up tomorrow?
Yeah, I just it was a fantastic game, a great game. But of course, I'm nowhere near winning the title. That's just a quarter-final, so you have to. If this was the start of my career, it would have been hard to bring myself back up to earth, back down to earth. But I've experienced a lot. I think it's my third major semi-final this year, so I have to accept that it's a great game, but there's a lot more work to do. Because of course I want to win this title just like everyone else does.
Cheers, Luke. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Luke, the emotions still seem pretty raw at the moment. Does that just show how much it means?
Yeah, it does mean a lot to me. I've really worked so hard. A lot of people don't understand how, not just me, but everybody has given everything to the sport. We all sacrifice a lot, not just me, everybody. Being away from family, and all that type of stuff. It is really tough. It's not easy. We do get paid well and all this type of stuff, and it's fantastic. But with that comes things that you have to sacrifice, and being away from family is one of them. Obviously my son's won on Monday, and I've maybe missed a third of his life. And it is hard. It is, but of course you can't sit there and moan, because we're in privileged positions. But of course that is the tough part. So
you talk about going off stage 2-0 down and having that positive mindset. What's been the change from, you say it was negative before, to being positive tonight?
I just think it's about time I start being positive. I think I'm just too negative. Sometimes it's not like in my brain I'm negative. It's like my body language is too negative, and I feel like players that I'm playing against can feed off that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be why people play so well against me, because they feel like my head's gone, and it's not, but my body language shows it does. And it annoys myself. I don't need to do it. I feel like it gets to a point where it's a habit, and I just shake my head, and it's time to stop now. I think I'm maturing now. Just accept it. If you're a bit unlucky, you just have to accept it. It's not always going to go my way. I'm not always going to hit a treble 20 every throw. It's just the way it is. I'm not going to hit a double every time. I just have to adapt this mindset now that you're not the unluckiest player in the world. Sometimes that's how I feel in my mind.
Yeah.
You just have to accept it, and we need to. If I'm going to win majors, I have to have a positive mindset and a positive body language.
Is that a sort of switch that's just come from yourself, or have you been speaking to other players and getting some advice on that?
I have got a bit of advice from certain people. Yeah, it's like they just say, just don't show that body language, because it just don't look good, and it don't help my performance. It doesn't help the people I'm playing. So I don't think I'm terrible, but I just think it's time to relax that body language now and just poker face, play your darts, and if it don't go well, it don't go well. It's not always going to go well. It's been a great year this year. The next couple of majors might not go great, but I'm hoping they do. And it's a positive mindset from now. And I feel like I have to adapt this by one of the majors.
Mind letting us know who gave you that advice?
Someone very close to me.
Okay.
Someone very, very close to me.
No worries. Thanks, Luke.
Luke, it's been a tough year for Peter Wright, but I think it's safe to say he played like he could in that match. What would you be expecting from him heading into that match, considering that Peter's been a bit up and down this year?
Honestly, I was expecting his best, because he really does play well against me. Every time I play him, he seems to turn up and play his best. I think he's beat me many, many times. A lot of major quarter-final. That lights out. Lights out. He always seems to play well against me. So I just expected a tough game, to be honest. And the way he played, I thought, no one would have remembered how he's not been at his best this year. Let's be honest, but that was a great performance from him, and I think that he's not finished yet. He's got many, many years to give to this sport, and he's a great guy. He showed a lot of respect in the end there to congratulate me. He's a classy guy, Peter. I'm one of the nicest blokes I've met through darts.
Yeah, I think it was a 97 average in that final set from you. When you're under that sort of pressure, it's performing at that level. What puts you in that elite bracket that you can raise it under the most immense pressure?
Yeah, that's what wins you titles. Them fine moments that you really need to play your best. You can have offsets and all this type of stuff, but you have to be at your best at the right moments. And if you're not, if I wasn't there, I would have lost. I think Peter played well in that last set. I played well in that last set, and I showed a lot of bottle in the end. I feel like sometimes that would have got away from me. You know, I feel like I would have just relaxed too much. Sometimes it feels a bit edgy, but I felt like, you know, at the right times that I really did put in the right scores. You know, I think I had a couple of good starts. My doubling here has been fantastic this week, and you know, if I combine it with my scoring like I have done, yeah, I'm going to be a tough player to beat.
And if it was you lifting the trophy on Sunday night, do you feel like that can open the floodgates for you in terms of majors?
I mean, I don't think it'll open the floodgate. I don't think I'm going to win everything all the time because there's too many good players to do that. But you know, I feel like there's a chance that, you know, I'll win a lot more than I don't, or should I say I'll win a lot more than I have done in my career. But yeah, you know, I'll win that major title. Like I've said, it will happen. It's just when it will. You know, it might not be this weekend, but if it is, then it's a fantastic one to win, a great achievement. But we've got a lot to play for in the next 20 years of my career. Hopefully, what I can have. So, you know, if it's this weekend, then that's the first one to tick off.
Well, look, it was an epic match for us to watch. Thank you.
Thank you very much.